Welcome back to Hydrohaven, where we believe that the foundation of any successful garden starts with what's beneath the surface. Today, I'm excited to share with you a game-changing DIY potting soil recipe that will transform your container gardening experience using just 3 simple ingredients. Whether you're setting up your first window herbs or managing a full balcony garden, this homemade mix will give your plants exactly what they need to thrive without breaking the bank. Before we dive into the recipe, let's talk about why making your own potting soil is worth the effort. Commercial potting mixes often contain synthetic fertilizers, peat harvested from fragile ecosystems, and various mystery ingredients. When you make your own, you control exactly what goes into it, ensuring your plants receive clean, nutrient-rich growing medium tailored to their needs. Creating your own mix also significantly reduces costs. Premium potting soils can cost anywhere from $8 to $20 per bag, while this DIY solution costs pennies on the dollar, especially if you source materials from your own property. Plus, there's something deeply satisfying about creating the perfect growing environment for your plants with your own hands. Our DIY potting soil relies on 3 main components, each serving a specific purpose in creating the ideal growing environment. Let's examine each one. Ingredient 1. Rotten wood. Nature's perfect soil amendment. The first component in our mix is rotten wood, but not just any wood. We're looking for decomposed wood that is already broken down substantially. Fresh wood chips or sawdust will actually deplete your soil of nitrogen as they decompose, causing nutrient deficiencies in your plants. But properly aged decomposed wood is gardening gold. Rotten wood adds incredible texture to your potting mix. It creates air pockets for root growth while simultaneously holding moisture like a sponge, releasing it slowly to plant roots. It's also teeming with beneficial fungi that form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, enhancing nutrient uptake and disease resistance. To source this ingredient, you have several options. The simplest is to maintain a brush pile in a corner of your yard where logs and branches can naturally decompose over time. If you don't have this resource available, take a walk in a nearby wooded area and collect some naturally decomposed wood. Look for pieces that crumble easily between your fingers with a dark soil-like appearance. Ingredient 2. Aged manure, the nutrient powerhouse. The second component is aged manure, preferably from herbivores like cows, horses, rabbits, or goats. Fresh manure is too hot, nitrogen-rich, and can burn delicate plant roots, so proper aging is essential. Aged manure provides a slow-release source of macro and micronutrients while improving soil structure. It contributes beneficial microorganisms that help break down organic matter and make nutrients available to plants. The organic matter in manure also improves the soil's water-holding capacity and drainage. To age manure properly, spread it in a thin layer and allow it to dry in the sun for several months, turning occasionally. Alternatively, add it to your compost pile and let it age there. The finished product should be dark, crumbly, and earthy smelling with no ammonia odor. One important caution. In recent years, many herbicides used on pastures contain chemicals that remain active even after passing through an animal's digestive system and composting. These persistent herbicides can severely damage your plants. If you're sourcing manure, try to verify that the animals haven't grazed on fields treated with these herbicides, or conduct a simple bioassay test by growing sensitive plants like beans or peas in a small sample of your manure before using it extensively. Ingredient 3. Sifted soil or grit, the structure provider. The final ingredient provides structure, mineral content, and proper drainage to your mix. This can be sifted garden soil, creek sand, or even the rich soil found beneath your compost or chicken coop areas. This component ensures proper drainage and prevents the mix from becoming too heavy or compacted. The mineral content provides micronutrients that might not be present in the other organic components. Additionally, if you use soil from your garden or a natural area, you're introducing beneficial microorganisms that help create a living soil web. For container gardening, avoid using heavy clay soils that might compact over time. If your garden soil is clay-heavy, consider using sand or commercially available perlite or vermiculite as alternatives for this portion of the mix. Creating your perfect potting mix. The process. Setting up your workspace. Start by laying out a large tarp in an open area where you can spread and mix materials easily. The tarp makes mixing simple and cleanup even easier. Just gather the corners when you're done, and pour your finished mix into storage containers. If you don't have a tarp, any flat surface will work, but choose somewhere you don't mind getting a bit messy. This is a hands-on project that connects you directly with the elements nurturing your plants. The mixing process. Our basic formula uses equal parts of each ingredient, but don't get too caught up in precise measurements. Gardening is as much art as science, and plants are generally forgiving of slight variations. Start by breaking your rotten wood into smaller pieces. The size depends on your planned use. For seed starting, you'll want finer particles, while for larger container plants, chunks up to 1 inch across are beneficial, as they create air pockets and slowly release moisture. Next, break up any clumps in your aged manure and add it to the pile. Finally, add your sifted soil or grit component. Using a garden fork or your hands, with gloves, thoroughly mix the components until they're well integrated. The final texture should be loose and fluffy, holding together slightly when squeezed but easily crumbling apart. For seed-starting mixes, you may want to sift the final product through hardware cloth or a similar screen to remove larger chunks that might impede delicate seedlings. Customizing your mix for specific plants is one of the greatest advantages of making your own soil. Here are some modifications to consider. For acid-loving plants like blueberries, azaleas, and rhododendrons, they prefer acidic soil conditions. Add some pine needles, oak leaves, or coffee grounds to lower the pH slightly. You can also incorporate a small amount of elemental sulfur if your soil tends to be alkaline. For succulents and cacti, these plants require extremely well-draining soil to prevent root rot. Increase the proportion of grit or sand to about 50% of your total mix, and reduce the amount of water-retentive materials like manure. For heavy feeders, vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants are heavy feeders that benefit from extra nutrients. Consider adding additional aged manure or a small amount of worm castings to your basic mix when growing these crops. Alternative ingredients for your DIY potting soil. Don't have access to the exact ingredients mentioned? No problem. Here are some excellent substitutions. Alternatives to rotten wood. Coconut coir is an excellent renewable substitute that provides similar moisture retention and aeration benefits. It's becoming more widely available as an eco-friendly alternative to peat moss. Leaf mold, which is partially decomposed leaves, works wonderfully as well. Simply rake fall leaves into a pile, keep them slightly moist, and wait 1 to 2 years for them to break down into dark, crumbly material. Alternatives to aged manure include some quite effective options. Finished compost is perhaps the best substitute, providing similar nutrients and beneficial microorganisms. Worm castings are another excellent option, though typically available in smaller quantities. Plant-based composts tend to be less nutrient-dense than manure-based ones, but work well when used in slightly larger proportions. When looking for alternatives to garden soil or grit, consider perlite and vermiculite. These volcanic minerals provide excellent drainage and aeration. Perlite doesn't break down over time, while vermiculite holds more moisture. Coarse sand, not beach sand which often contains salt, provides good drainage, though it lacks the nutrient content of soil. Rice hulls are a sustainable byproduct that provides excellent aeration and breaks down very slowly. Your freshly mixed potting soil will work immediately, but allowing it to cure for a few weeks before use gives the components time to integrate and microbial life to establish. Store your mix in a covered container that allows some airflow. A trash can with holes drilled in it works well. If storing long-term, check moisture levels occasionally. The mix should remain slightly damp but not wet. If it dries out completely, the beneficial microorganisms may go dormant or die off. Even with the perfect mix, you might encounter occasional issues. If your potting mix seems to repel water rather than absorb it, this indicates it has become hydrophobic. Adding a drop of mild dish soap to your watering can help break surface tension and allows water to penetrate. If you notice a white, fuzzy growth on the soil surface, this is likely beneficial fungal growth, especially if you've used a lot of woody material. This is actually good for your plants. However, If it concerns you aesthetically, simply scrape it off and allow the soil surface to dry slightly between waterings. For container plants that have been in the same soil for over a year, consider top dressing with a thin layer of fresh compost or worm castings to replenish nutrients that may have been depleted. The living legacy of your DIY soil. Remember that unlike commercial sterile mixes, your homemade potting soil is alive with beneficial microorganisms. These tiny allies help convert nutrients into forms plants can use, protect against pathogens, and even enhance plant immune systems. As you continue your gardening journey, consider setting up a perpetual system where you reuse and rejuvenate old potting soil by adding it to your compost pile, then incorporating it back into fresh batches. This creates a beautiful cycle where the biological diversity and nutrient profile of your mix improves over time. A final word from Hydrohaven. Creating your own potting soil connects you more deeply to the growing process and gives your plants a living foundation for healthy growth. Your plants will reward you with vibrant foliage, abundant blooms, and bountiful harvests. If you've enjoyed this DIY potting soil guide, please hit that subscribe button to keep up with all our gardening tips and tricks here at Hydrohaven. Share this video with fellow gardeners who might benefit from making their own soil, and let us know in the comments what grows best in your homemade mix. Together we're building a community rooted in sustainable gardening practices, one handful of soil at a time.